My Chihuahua.
My Chihuahua.
We on live right now.
Yes, indeed.
Mark changed his name, bro.
I don't know, but we on YouTube. We on YouTube live. Doing everything you're saying.
So let me share this to Facebook, since they tried to show a little shade, try to stop the flow. They don't know, but they about to.
We on YouTube live right now. Everybody can hear what you're saying.
They about to find out. Share this to Facebook. Let them know they could throw that shade, but they can't stop. We live on YouTube right now.
Hey, I want the Lower African Minds behind me.
What's that?
You got the Lower African Minds behind you.
Oh yeah, it's something I'm experimenting with.
I want the eyes behind me too. I love that. I love that.
Yeah, hold on.
I love that. You did that. Whoa, I figured some stuff out, bro. I can invite people to this right here through Messenger.
Okay.
Lyrical X-Ray Records.
Let's try this again here. Boom. So I'm about to send this invite. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. There you go. What is this looking like over here?
My Chihuahua, my Chihuahua.
Oh yeah. Once again, it's on. We are live.
Huh?
We are live. So, Ladies and gentlemen, you tuned in live to Loyal African Minds presents the Connected Mind Show once again. This is supposed to have been our official lunch, y'all, but I guess, the people who in the background on some things tried to throw shade. We ain't gonna call no names, Facebook, but we had to move this to YouTube. So we had to dodge that obstacle and move over here. So we on time anyways. It's almost 9:30, but like I said, we was here on time. We was ready to rock and rhyme, but you know how they do us sometimes. Nevertheless, we in here, Loyal African Minds, Numaki Wawa. Give y'all some time to tune in as I go to announce. Need to share that we moved our location. Let our people know. Y'all know how we used to have to do it when certain spies came in the camp and exposed information they had no business exposing. So then you had to put the word out that we were changing locations. So here we go.
I can hear the music more. I can hear you, bro.
Okay.
I think it's my thing. I think I need to go out and come back in.
It was probably the music, but we about to.
No, I got my volume all the way up. I can't hear you. Sometimes I'm gonna go out and come right back in.
Okay. All right. So we gonna get this thing started. Just a minor little technical difficulty, but it's all good. Had to switch location. Join us live now. Boom. And it's on, y'all. Y'all know who at the door. It is my comrade, Jan Subu, y'all. So here it is.
You much clearer.
Okay. So that's clear. Sound check on the intro music.
So I went through Facebook Messenger and invited people in. Can you see any numbers of people showing up?
I can't. I'm actually not in YouTube yet. Let me get in here and see how YouTube gets down.
Hey, boy, it had right on your face, bro.
Right.
That is, I'm loving it, man. I'm loving it, man. I'm loving it, man. Oh, wow. I love that right there, man. Rob was right in your face. The waves was coming out,
Right.
Yeah, man. Most powerful Laura Gold. Most powerful Sutra. Namokuro Miki, etc. etc.
Let's see. I'm going to put, thank you for tuning in. I don't see anybody. I don't know if YouTube shows me who's in here, but nevertheless, we still gonna roll with it. And I'm in the chat. Just go. Don't stop. So we gonna officially go ahead and start this thing and do what we gotta do. Let's see here. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you are tuned in to Loyal African Minds presents the Connected Mind Show. We're going to go ahead and start this thing with our subject for today being, we're talking about black media today. And we're going to get into that in detail. I'm going to let the Answer go on and let him break it down for y'all once again. And we're going to do this thing. So thank y'all for tuning in, even though we're a little late, whatever. But we here. And all shade thrown has been dodged aside. And get your pen, your pencil, your paper. And it's time to get into this. Loyal African Minds presents the Connected Mind Show. Numa Kiwawa.
Numa Kiwawa. We're going to start our official launch off with a prayer, and we're going to end with prayer. We know in this movement, in this mission, in this appointment, in this anointment, in this chosen, in this call, it has to be by the Creator.
We got
it has to be
in the house also.
By divine. Wow, we got a surprise. We got the Empress. We got the Empress. Okay, so we go open this prayer up. I'm in the Rakipura Sor. We call upon the forces of the universe through the Creator, the unknown Creator, the one who produced but never was produced, the one that manifests all manifestations. We call him great grandfather. We call him great grandmother. It is neither male or female. We know Creator chooses to appear to people in any form that he needs to get your attention. And right now, we ask you to appear in the form of Loyal African Mind. In our African loyal minds, we want to be connected mind. In this day and time, in the era of coronavirus, but we are in the age of worldwide African unity. So we thank you for the reset, the reset, and the resurrection, and we ask you to restore us back into our stories. We call upon our ancestors, not all ancestors, but the righteous one who fought for truth, those who fought for freedom and liberation, those who fought for culture, those who fought for to build wealth to sustain us as a whole. And with that, we say amen and a woman. Amen Ra.
Wow, Ashe. Most definitely. Hey, welcome, Queen. Let me make sure I get your name right. Trisha Bai, is that how you pronounce it?
Badia. Trisha Badia.
Badia.
Trisha Badia. Welcome on the show, Queen.
Thank you.
So, Queen, today's subject is we're speaking about the different type of black media. Some people call it new black media. I call it black medias. We want to talk about the different types of black media, and we're going to pinpoint on what type of media Loyal African Minds, Connected Minds is. So the brothers and sisters, the kings and queens, the gods and goddesses know how to categorize the information, and they don't have to tangle all the information up. That we have social medias for economic wealth. We have social medias for culture. We got black social medias for information. We got black social media for scholarly debates and reasoning, and how to pick your social media and how to categorize them. Because sometimes we go into black social media and we think they're all supposed to be saying the same thing, and then we say, oh, they ain't this and all they ain't that. Each platform has a specification of the information that it offers you. And we want our people to be able to distinguish it. So when they come into the Loyal African Mind platform, they'll know Loyal African Mind is social, cultural, and economic expansion, right? From a spiritual perspective, we always bring Ma'at in. We always bring Ryan. But we are a Pan-Africanist, Afrocentric outlook. You know, that's, if you can see the logo, there's two eyes, the eye of Ron, the eye of Chorus, and it has Africa in both of the eyes. You know, we stay focused.
Most definitely. So let me make sure I understand that definitely, because I'm taking notes as well myself. So we're looking at the different types of black media that's out there. As far as we got some brothers that's really really keen on Black health issues. We got some people that's really keen on Black social issues. We have people that's really keen on Black political issues and financial issues, etc. So uh, I guess what we're breaking down here is those different categories and their place in our I guess education as a connected mind.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Inside our awakening, inside our evolution, inside our consciousness. If we know how to categorize what we have, right?
Right.
It's like it's like if, if we know how to categorize what we have, it's like when you was at high school, junior high school, you had 7 periods. You know what I
Right.
mean? And you got something different from each period. But at the whole thing, it made your education. And so we want the brothers and sisters, the kings and queens, the god and goddesses, to look at the social platform like different departments in your total consciousness. Um, um, and it benefits us as a whole for you not to just be stuck on one particular subject matter. Um, because ain't no society, ain't no nation operating off of one department. You got the Department of Agriculture, you got the Department of Education, you got the political parties, you got the military wing, you got the educational wing, you have the financial branch, and the same thing is that's going on social media and the black platforms. You have different people bringing you different info, and it's okay to listen and take notes. To all your brothers and sisters, because we're in a time where people feel they have a need to say something,
Mm.
um, and you might think it's boring, but if you hear them from beginning to end, pretty sure you'll get something. You know, because the knowledge that we have is this big, right? And you open your hands, it grows greater. Things that we know is this big. When you open your hands, it's opportunity to know more. And so we still learning.
Most definitely, and you mentioned that, and it's funny because there's a lot of corn out there. I guess corn is the best word I can come up with for a lot of the new lives I'm seeing out right now. Because folks at home, they bored, whatever, and folks is doing basically whatever. They doing whatever they can to get some attention, and a lot of that stuff is corny and just a waste of time and a big distraction. So I appreciate lives that's out there actually putting out pertinent information, putting out education, and putting out something that folks can actually use. I think we've been we got enough of Mr. Bojangles entertaining us and cooning and all that stuff. It's time for some real meat that we can eat right now in this area of information.
I tell you, one of the reasons why how they got away from that is, especially in the music industry, is the ones that control it at the very, 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 very top. They're the ones that making crucial money. And these young fellas, see what they do is they call it hungry. They go and look for them. And if they're not hungry enough, and what that means is if they aren't poor enough, then they know that they're not going to sell their soul. But if
Mm,
they're poor enough, they will sell their soul to do whatever it is to be famous and make that money. See, they'll have them where they'll make money like they're never seen before. Because
right.
I watched a show especially for that on that subject matter, and that's what they were talking about. They said if they're not hungry and they're not poor enough, we don't want them.
Mm,
I mean, they look for the hardcore. I'm talking about hardcore. They've been in criminals, and turn them into from rags to riches. A real true life rags to riches story. And it's really sad, that it's like that. It's to the point where they say, "Well, I don't care about nothing. I just want to make that money." But if you realize how you're being pimped,
Mm,
and he's making it so he's orchestrating it to the point that you become his puppet, and you turn around, you pimping your own people, your own neighborhood, you pimping yourself.
wow.
And that's exactly why we have to try our best to get our youth away from this music, our young adults away from this music. Because I mean, you figure you have a chant, you can start saying anything. You know, I was watching, I think it was Talib Kweli. He was talking about it. He said, think about it. He said, if you say something long enough, he said, if I want to say something negative and I put a jingle to it, like those commercials that stays in your subliminal. He said, after a while, he said, you'll sing it and you don't even know that well, where did that come from? He said, so change that to something, put something positive in there, and you keep saying it and saying it and saying it. Can you imagine a kid? Uh, uh, um, he said, can you imagine a kid saying something that Malcolm X said, Marcus Garvey said? You know, it has to be changed around. And I agree with you. It's definitely, most definitely time out for this.
Right. Well, definitely, we are connected to hip hop, but a lot of people don't understand that the purpose of hip hop was not where it is right
Yeah,
now. Hip hop was these kids that didn't have the money for music lessons, didn't have the money for dance or art lessons,
that's right.
and they created their own culture out of that. And then the white industry saw that it
Yeah, exactly.
popular and profitable, and now they've taken over it and poisoned it. And I used to say this to my kids a lot of times years ago. I used to say, something just ain't right about them words. And they would say
Mm-hmm.
that, well, I don't even pay attention to the words. I just like the music. And I was trying to explain to them, just because you think you're not paying attention, we have two minds. We have our conscious mind and we have our subconscious mind. Your
Mm-hmm.
subconscious mind sees and notices everything, records it, and plants it within your whole psyche. So
Mm-hmm.
you got people that automatically. I said, now look at this. We had a time where people they get so caught up in it, and they say they're not listening to the words, but then the MC get on the mic and say, "All the bitches in the house say
Yeah,
ho!" All
yeah. Uh-huh.
of a sudden, you
Yep.
you done all night long. You arguing with your man that you ain't no B, you ain't this, you ain't that. But the moment that MC said that, there you are in the club hollering
Yep.
ho. So
Yep.
you got to pay attention to these words
Yep.
that's being
That's right.
said, and that's a lot of the black media that's hurting us right now.
Because I don't know if you guys are familiar with X Ministries, xministries.com. Anybody can look it up. That brother,
Damn.
it's like, I don't care which way you come at it, he's telling the truth. I used to think at one point, I was like, oh, this can't be, but the visuals that he gives, the history I mean, oh my God. I mean, I advise anybody to check him out. www.xministries.com.
Most definitely, and that's what we trying to do here is to present something black media wise that our people can actually use. That we ain't on that hoop and hollering. Yeah, we have hip hop in our blood, but not in the way that mainstream hip
Yeah,
hop is. There's a lot of
exactly.
brothers out there that's doing positive hip hop.
Yeah,
One
yes, it is. Uh-huh.
my favorite tracks to listen to when I'm working out is Brother Sticks from Dead Presidents, Dead Prez. They switched their whole game up, and they have Healthy Gangster, which is the album. I believe it's on. I got it on iTunes, but Healthy Gangster, where it ain't it's not talking that stuff. Some of it has come from some of that lifestyle that he's twisted around. Like he
Uh-huh.
said, I used to want to be a dope man, and now I
Yeah.
want to be a dope man. So they play on words, but it's nothing negative in the material they're putting out there. But
And that's where your talent come in at. I
exactly.
mean, you got to be creative. You can't say anything else besides, nigga this, nigga that, and foul expletives, you your creativity is limited, and then like I said, they tell them that word has been sold. The word nigga has been sold. It
Right.
has a price tag on it. So they want them to use it because it's detrimental to us. It
Right.
means death. If a lot of our people would just come into the knowledge of what that word means. Oh, you can see that word. You can go look at the pictures.
Right. Right. I mean, all of that. That one thing I've as a rule of thumb for me, if it shows up on black exploitation television or BET as y'all know it, 9 times out of 10 it's not good black media.
Mm-hmm.
You got folks on there putting out supposedly black ministry, and these brothers is asking for all types of money from brother. The community is broke. The people
Yeah,
broke, and you taking their money, telling them
for
that
real.
they get this miracle in their life and stuff like that, and they
Right.
got the and if you notice, because I pay attention to a lot of things kind of on a weird level, but that particular channel, when I do watch it, they have the longest running commercial periods that I ever see on any station. It's like you sit there for sometimes I feel like I done been watching the commercials for like 15
Yeah,
minutes
they do.
before you get even the program. And so it's like, it's just, and let's make this clear. Black folks don't own that station anyway. So what are you going to get out of that? That's black exploitation television. Let's just be real.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, and Subu, I know you got a lot on the subject as well as we was talking earlier, but we wanted to put it out there because yes, there are other black media out there, and there's some good black media out there as well. Let's not forget, but we also got to be aware. You got to be cognizant of what you're letting into your eyes and ears because that's what's going to get inside you. So you have to guard what you let in your eyes and your ears. And just because somebody's saying it's a black thing doesn't always mean it's a black thing. So
Yeah.
uh,
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of black so-called black media out there that's not really black media. I like last night's show where you was talking about one of the ways to identify real black people is they ain't ashamed to say black power to each other and give the black power sign to each other in wherever we may be,
Where.
or wherever. That's one good
Mm-hmm.
indication of somebody who has our better interest in mind.
Absolutely, absolutely. In this forward movement, in this moving forward, when we talking about black social media and that there's many different platforms, there's many different channels. You got the hee hee ha ha, you got the sports, um, you got different types of entertainment channels, which is people being creative and going out there. But and they being black, or somebody just happened to be black doing something.
Right.
Then, so what King Ajalandi Ansubu, what the Ansubu is trying to convey to the brothers and sisters, the kings and queens and God and goddesses, that they say new black media, black media. But within black media, Loyal African Mind, Connected Mind is a Pan Africanist outlet. And this is what we're letting you know what set us apart. Um, you got a lot of black people who are doing things, and they're doing things as commercial or whatever they're doing, as far as informative, entertainment. But the point in the topic today, and the topic point today is Loyal African Mind is a Pan Africanist platform. And so when you come into Loyal African Mind's platform, um, it's going to be centered around worldwide African unity. And we're going to encourage you and we're going to give you the information to help bring that unity together. Our voice is the unity voice. Our voice is the worldwide African unity voice. Our, our image is worldwide African unity. Our Scholar research points to worldwide African unity. Our spiritual contact and connection delivers us into worldwide African unity. Our salvation focuses on worldwide African unity. And so
Mm-hmm.
this is what Loyal African Mind promises you, swear, takes an oath, and holds up as an obligation and as a vow to stay Pan African and African centered. Um, and we're willing to have dialogue, right, with the whole world about Pan Africanism. So, with that, we'll be saying this is not the platform to talk about us being Hebrews. This is not the platform to talk about us being Asiatics. This ain't the platform to talk about us being the Native Americans. But as a Pan African platform, you can say the Hebrews are African, you can say the Native Americans are African, and you can say the Asiatics are African, as long as it's centered around the Africans in a global perspective.
That's
To help
right.
us know that we are a community, and uh, we started off in a worldwide community. When they had the land mass that the Europeans called Pan, right? And then you have
Right.
Gia. Gia means Earth, or Pan Asia, or Pan Nuba. All these are different names for land masses from the ancient time. And we will approach here on Lord African Lives when we speak about the Philippines, we'll talk about the Negritos. When we talk about China, we'll talk about the Han that's in China. When we talk about India, we'll talk about the Nan that's in India. And these are black people. These people are distinguished with dark skin and an afro, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so we want to be very clear about the image and likeness of the Pan African. Even though we are a hue of colors, right?
Mm-hmm.
They might say hue man, but we hue Amin Ra. Okay, they might be hue man and hue mankind, but we hue Amin Ra. We are the originals from the original. And that's what the platform of Lord of Command is trying to bring us to tighten up. So when we speak, we'll ask you to go look up Julius Malema. We'll ask you to go look up Dr. Karama. We'll ask you to go look up Wake Up Africa. And we'll ask you to go look at the platforms that's Pan African coming out of Africa, South, Central, and North America, and even over Europe. You have a remnant, right? You have a remnant of people who ancestors fought wars, who fought wars to protect the sovereignty of the African clans, tribes, villages, states, and kingdoms. And that bloodline still speaks out today. And so you'll know if you're part of that bloodline while you're chasing your African roots. See, some people want to go to Africa and play on the Africans and get money. Some people want to go and just experience the food or the culture. But it's a root. It's a root that's like the oldest tree on earth, right? No matter when it's America, we bear the few fruit that we're struggling for liberation for all of us. And that's what this platform, Lord of Command, is. But the struggle we do it in is in a social, cultural, and an economic expansion. We are nonviolent, but we will protect and defend our women and children and our property. That is a constitutional right. That is a
Mm-hmm.
universal right, and that is a humanitarian right. That is an African right, and that is a citizen right. And so, under the Universal Declarations of Human Rights, right, we will defend our families and we will defend our property. But we're not agitators or instigators. And I would like to make the disclaimer: we are non-black identity extremists, and we are anti-black identity extremists. But we are pro-black. We believe the word pro-black in our state of mind here in Lower Command simply means that our children have the right to chisel out, to architect, and to engineer the type of future that they want, regardless of what any other ethnic group, race, or religion or creed may deem what the future should be. And we will be the tools as their parents and as their guardians, and we will be their resources. We will be their skills and talents that they can use to forge a new world for Africans to live in. And if the rest of the world want to join in our vision of what tomorrow is starting today, we would not stop knowing, but we don't need you to sleep in the bed with us also. We don't need you to sit at the dinner table with us, right, to build tomorrow, starting today. And with that being said, I hope everyone um, get involved and find out what the Pan African vision is. Find out who the founders of Pan Africanism. Because we all human and we all humans. Well, that's New World Order talk. New World Order talk once you say we're all human, because you have to have some type of prime minister, you have to have some type of president, you have to have some type of economic system to be all human. And that's when they come in with the chip. Because now you got a one world government because you're all human. So you have no ethnicity. You claim you don't see color. So now you can go for any okadoke because you don't have any critical thinking, right? You just go on with whatever they advertise, promote, and propagate to you. But when you are a Pan Africanist, you're talking about creating social systems. You're talking about creating institutions. You're talking about creating scholarly work in the anthropological and archaeological and sociological field. And you're talking about healing us from a psychological point of view and a psychiatric point of view. You're talking about putting in some work. You're talking about really doing something to build that tomorrow today. So that's what is going to be the standout mechanism of Loyal Command, is that we just don't want to be a social media platform. We want to be a place of activity. We want to be a center for, hey, I hear you, Taiki the High Tech. I hear you, Queen Trish. I hear you, King Ajalani Ansu. What can I do? What can I do? How can I help? This is the skills I have. This is the talent I have. And we want to organize that. And we want to create some institutions. See, every group of people have institutions. And so we got a lot of people who are pro-Black, Pan-African, and conscious. And we don't hear about nobody want to create institutions. An institution is how you know when you came to somebody's state, their village, their city, their municipal, their government, their country. When you go to those places, they have different types of institutions. And so if you're walking around in the United States of America or in Brazil or in Africa or in Canada, and you don't see any institutions, right, that represent you and your children and your grandmother and grandfather, right, well, you're a non-people. Let me give you an example before I turn the mic over. You have a group of people, this land was Mexico, and you have a group of stupid niggas who say the Mexicans are taking over. But you forget that you was the Buffalo Soldier who helped the white man run the Mexicans into southern Mexico. This was northern Mexico, right? And you help, and so they don't have to like you, they don't have to love you, right? The Koreans don't have to love you because you help the Europeans. You help global white supremacy go everywhere in the world. And you wonder why these people come here and they got an attitude for you. Well, you are the most fierce fighter on earth. You are the most critical thinker on the battlefield. You are the most strategic person. You know the bush, right? You know the hill. You know the country. Even though if you don't think you know it, it kicks in from your DNA. And you help these people destroy Vietnam. You help these people conquer the Native Americans. So regardless of what you think about making an alliance, Black people, we are on our own. And so the Mexicans come over here, they create institutions. The Asians, they create institutions. The Italians or the Greeks or the Romans or white people, they have institutions. So everybody's known by their institutions. And people are proud of the institutions, so they fly their flag or they do something from their mother country. Like the Asians, they got the Buddha and they have the little candles and they have the food offerings to their ancestors and they burn incense, right? And so you go fuck with them all the time and you don't call them pagan or heathen when you go to the Chinese restaurant, but let a Black person do it. Now we worship Satan or the devil if we honor our ancestors. Well, that's what we want to do inside the Pan-African movement. We want to create institutions with our image and our likeness and our spiritual and our culture and our way we socialize. And so I want to salute anyone who wants to take the challenge to learn as much as you can about Pan-Africanism or Pan-African-centered ways and bring that information to this platform so we can share it with your brothers and sisters, the other kings and queens.
Wow.
Go ahead, Queen.
Most definitely. One institution we seem to be popular in is the what is it? The institutionalized prison institution. They love to educate us with that institution most definitely. But I did have a question. I should have wrote it down. because you shared so much information that I had a question on one of them, and I got caught up and didn't write it down. But I believe it was about but I remember my first question, which when we was talking about receiving the chip and all that, when you say you're human, is there a way that black people can refuse that chip? Is there a legal way to refuse such a thing happening to us?
Well, we'll do it like this, right? Every group of people have an embassy and they have a consul, right? A consulate,
Right.
right? And inside the
Right.
consulate, they have an ambassador, right? Or some type of diplomat that represents them from their foundational country,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because their culture or their religious and their socialization, right?
Right.
And so therefore, they're not a neutralized U.S. citizen. They're not um, a social servant to the system, and they're not a 13th Amendment citizen. So what happened with the so-called blacks or Negro or colored or Afro Americans or African Americans when they integrated into America, right?
Mm-hmm.
What they said, right? I give up who I am. Let me follow you. Do
Wow.
with me what you will.
Wow.
So when you have this is what we have to understand. You have the Declaration Emancipation Proclamation, okay? And you have the Proclamation of Emancipation. These are two different contracts. These are two different contracts. The first contract declares, right, right, that the United States government won over the Confederacy, and they said they made a declaration of emancipation to be proclaimed throughout its territories, right? So they declared that people who was in servitude, who were on other people's property, have a right to leave those properties, right? And
Right.
proclaim who they are. We didn't proclaim who we were. Now we trying to be Choctaw, we trying to be Apache, we trying to be Moors, we trying to be Hebrew, we trying to be Native Americans, we trying to be Asiatics. Um, then you have another document, the Proclamation Emancipation. The Proclamation Emancipation was a treaty, right, that Abraham Lincoln kicked in, and they had a bank, right? If you would have proclaimed who you are, right, you would have had sovereignty, right, as a national identity or a tribal tribune, and you would have got in contract with the United States government, and you was able to get in contract with other governments whoever recognized you. But we never proclaimed, right?
Right.
We never proclaimed our emancipation. See, they said, they declared that we have an emancipation if we proclaim it. Then our end was to proclaim the emancipation. And so to proclaim emancipation is to come up with a flag, to come up with some institutions, right? Like social institutions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Academical institution, medical institution, and financial institution. Then the rest of the world can do business with you in the areas of trade and commerce, right? And
Right.
political diplomacy. But no, we just freelanced and we scattered out. We owned the land and we was happy being blacks in America. But the Emancipation Proclamation was your right to declare yourself, right, a nationality within the territories and proclaim that you would have been a government within the system and you could have proclaimed some land. So your 40 acres in a mule, let's give it to you another way. You was never promised 40 acres in a mule. You was promised enough territory where the people who are emancipated will be able to stand on enough space that equals 40 acres, right? And the government would have supplied, right, from the acreage that some mules, right? But they would
Mm-hmm.
have like if we would have came and say we want this territory, and the Indians they have a state claim to it, and nobody else while they were pushing west, we could have claimed some territory, and the government would have recognized it. We would have went to the register, and we could have got the title deed, right?
Right.
Or we could have got the ownership title to the land, which is two different things. Ownership title to land means you are a sovereign entity within another entity, like Luathia, that's in Africa, uh, like London, over in England, like Rome inside Italy, right? These are sovereign states, and that land belong to those government seats, and then the rest of the countries of Italy is built around it. But it doesn't mess in the Roman affair, and they don't mess in London's affair. So you have London, and then you have another place called London. And so, and they got other centers like that around the world. This is the information that research about what governments is and what governments are not, what systems is and what systems not. And this is what the Pan African is supposed to do. The Pan African in his liberation fight, he's not fighting, oh, fuck the white man, let's have a revolution and fight. No, he's fighting to have engineers, architects, uh, people who could be senators, people who can be representatives, people who can stand in parliament and understand the laws and the rules and what makes a parliament, what makes a Congress, right? The
Right.
system of it. So we got a lot of people who don't have an idea of what a system is, and they're saying, "Oh, we need to do this, we need to do this," but they don't have a clue. You don't want a pimp running your government. You don't want a gangster running your government. You don't want a player running your government. You don't want the dope dealer running your government. So these are the people that we have been that's been coming out of our community, and we've been electing, and we've been looking for change for the people that we elect, and what they do, they pimp us. They mac on us. They sell us like a piece of dope. Same thing like Queen, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm getting sleepy, but I'm here.
Same thing like the Queen was saying as far as the rap music, right? They sell
Right.
us like a piece of dope. They don't really have our interest.
Okay. So we did go a little beyond our time. We got started late, and yeah, as the Queen said, she's fatiguing, and it's Friday.
But I want to hear from her before we close it up.
Most definitely. I was just gonna announce we're gonna go with our last statements and closing up. So go ahead, Queen.
I don't know. I just think that, in my thinking, I understand everything that Adeline was saying. I do agree with it all. I just think that right now we have to gather this all up, and make a pile and get busy, because we know, all this, like, it's just so much right now. It's like confusion. And I feel like minds, everybody that think the same for this one thing need to just come together. You know what I'm saying? On one accord. You know what I mean? And then we can go
Right.
from there, because we need to get this thing together right now, because time is running out, for talk. So all those that is in the knowledge, that's got this understanding, and we can agree on this on this one thing that we have to do, then we need to get busy and start doing it. You know what I mean? I don't care where you at in life, as long as you got the understanding that we doing this for ourselves, and that's what we need to do. Then we can establish all these things that he was talking about after we get gather each other up, and wherever we gonna gather at, then we can start teaching the rest of it. That's what I think, because we losing a lot of time.
Right. I agree.
O'Shea, New Makiwawa Hotel. Yeah, I'm with that movement. I'm with that activity of the different platforms, different voices, the different
Yep,
people.
I think that we could do a lot by, like, trying to connect with them, and connect with those that you know are on the same plane as we are. Maybe not so much as the same level, but just the same thought process. Come together, connect with them, and then build an umbrella with with that. If you want to give it a name, give it a name. but it has to be this one umbrella with like-minded folk in it, and let's go. Because I mean, it's just we don't waste a lot of time as it is, and now we got this right here. It's got to be possible. It is possible.
Queen, before you get finished, I just want to say this. And I hear a lot of our people are frustrated. They've been studying, we've been talking, and it's like, damn, when are we going to put up or shut up?
Yeah. Because the point was brought up one time when the guy said our people did it back in the 60s and they didn't even have Facebook, they didn't have texting, they didn't have Messenger, they didn't have none of that. So why is it taking us so long to wrap it up into one umbrella is what I'm saying. I'm for everything you said. I agree with everything you said, but I know time is of the essence. It's now. It's time to wrap it on up and do this so we can build the institution that you're talking about.
One thing that you said that stuck out, that was pertinent, and that's very important, and that's especially extremely right and truthful. You were saying like-minded. And the reason, I know I could be long-winded, so I'm going to be short. It's very important that like-minded people and people who are grassroots self-starters, because when you follow the money trail on some of these cats, right? Some of them have been financed by these white billionaires and millionaires. And
that's what I'm talking about. If you all off up into something else and you becoming commercial to the detriment of what we. I mean, I ain't talking about that. No, I ain't talking about them. I'm talking about.
I just want to let the audience know if they're out there and they collaborate with somebody, find out how they got their foundation and who's giving them their finances.
Yep.
So you know if they truly are with the coming together.
Exactly.
But some people could become and just cause sabotage and cause arguments, and we ain't
got no time for exactly. That. Yeah, I ain't. Yes, exactly. Yep. Exactly. Yep.
Most definitely. So we're gonna wrap that up and call it a night for this one. I appreciate you coming out, Queen, and Subu as well. Appreciate y'all coming on our show. This was our official launch for the April 3rd launch that we planned.
And I'm so happy the Queen came on this show.
Most definitely.
I mean, I don't know what time y'all gonna be starting, but you have to let me know because,
Well, our official start time is supposed to be 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and we're usually doing it live on Facebook, which we're finding out ever so often, especially when we push certain times and dates, that for some reason, a lot of times Facebook doesn't want to play ball. So,
okay, they don't want to play ball.
Okay. Yeah, so the technology acts up in a strange kind of way, and it's happened I think twice already. And so
it's like one day we can get on, next day we can't, then the following day we can, then the next day we can't. It's like every other day.
That's crazy.
Messing with the fuckery book.
Yeah.
Right. So it's kind of suspect to me. But
and I was gonna mention to you guys that I think I mentioned it to Ajalon before because I just met you. Another one that we probably would be able to check out is because it's called melanatedpeople.net. It's a brother that started it. So and he has a area where you can do this too. So
definitely gonna look into that. I think I've seen it before. It sounds familiar. So definitely I'm gonna look into that. But yeah, so when Facebook do throw shade, we cross over and do this on YouTube.
That's right. That's right, my brother.
We gonna just go and don't stop. We ain't gonna let nobody.
That's right.
So officially 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We've been doing this every day for a minute. We may break it down to maybe 2 or 3 times a week just so people don't get burnt out and so the content doesn't get stale and we have some time to really put into the content. We haven't figured out those 2 or 3 days a week yet. So for right now, we just put out content every night, 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Okay.
So that said, y'all, Taki Hicks, the Aunt Subu, and the Queen Trisha. We gonna sign out, and you have been tuned in to Loyal African Minds presents the Connected Mind Show. Stay black, y'all, and always represent that black power.
Black power.
Black power. Numa Chihuahua.
Black power. Numa Chihuahua.
The lace lady, travel with grace, baby. I can't afford to cover the course. Of course, maybe settle that one in court. Cause judging by the basics, y'all already comfortable, stuck up in the matrix. Shit is basic, patch credentials, but understand your favorite rapper, peep my gold potential. I'm out of shame, been passive, trying to fit a circle cause I don't know how to act shit. Half of y'all was steady, insecure, don't try to backflip. Just because the seasoning and flow's already active. Only 4 years, fantastic, young veteran. You classic. Nah, knock the walls off. Fuck the whole key, we gon' hinge the whole door off. I'm still AD, never forget it. It's life after death. Roll the credits. Say my feelings for you still exist. Credit my maker, take a trip to see Jamaica. Molly spirit with the paper back design, that's the nature. Africa, the new America. I hope I earn this permanent. If this I put my hand in it, got my land and my permit with it. Bone on my bone, flesh of my flesh. Greatness in me, you can't make me feel less. Let's hold, I'm not impressed. Best smoke, I'm afro like an empress. Great state I'm in all states I'm in. I might find a form in my melanin. Great state I'm in all states I'm in. I might find a form in my melanin. Great state I'm in all states I'm in. I might find a form in my melanin. Great state I'm in all states I'm in. I might find a form in my melanin.